World Championship ring and an MVP trophy, Steph Curry is now a global NBA superstar. And it all started right here in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. 3 years ago, he had a magical 54-point game that grabbed headlines and spawned a national curiosity. Tonight, the Warriors return to New York and face a rookie sensation from Latvia, Carmelo and Curry, the Garden, right now. Where else would you rather be than a Sunday night in NYC? The one time the Warriors come to MSG to take on the Knickerbockers. Steph Curry, he's played some of his best basketball in this building, and Carmelo Anthony runs this town. The Knicks are vastly improved. Very good matchup tonight. Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett. And you played here, Jim. When you come to New York, everyone in the league is watching. The league office is here. You want to play well in the NBA when you play the Knicks in this building. You can feel that.
You haven't played NBA basketball until you played a game in Madison Square Garden in front of this knowledgeable crowd. It's an absolutely terrific experience. It's unique. It's very electric.
And when the Warriors come as the world champs, they want to prove to everybody there's no fluke. You can kind of feel that just in the pregame warm-ups.
Without question. It's special here. You know, you can't pull upon that cord every night. But when you come to New York, you have to bring something extra.
Well, last night, the buzzer beater was proof of the depth of the Warriors. Steph, Clay, no Harrison. Anyone can beat you on this team.
Well, it might be Clay. It might be Stephen. It may be Draymond. It may be someone off the bench, and Andre Iguodala. But Nur's a steal. The play to make. No, it was calm as heck. Did it with 0.2 of a second to go. And you can see what Harrison is doing this year after missing 16 games.
Steph's improved. Draymond's improved. Clay's an all-star. Harrison's ascension is still continuing.
He's going to get better and better. You know, you measure your success where you are compared to where you could be. And he has room for growth. But the story tonight, the defending NBA champion Golden State Warriors come to New York, Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. They want to prove to everyone here why they are the defending champions, and they're going to live up to that reputation. You can just kind of feel it today.
Steph Curry's had a 50-point game. He's had a triple-double, but he now faces a Knicks team that has some stars of their own. You know Carmelo Anthony is the focal point. But in addition to the super scorer at the small forward, they have a rookie from Latvia that is exploding around the league. 7'3", Kristaps Porzingis, the 4th pick overall, and our first look at him. Carmelo and Kristaps, Curry and the Warriors. Greg and the guys back in the studio right after this.
Well, the Warriors have done nothing but do the right thing all year long. And look at this. Spike Lee is back. I remember him coming out to Warrior games last year. The Knicks were so bad at 17-65, and now they're just 3 under. So Spike Lee is just one of many dignitary celebrities at the Garden tonight to watch Steph Curry and the Warriors. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean, Monty Poole. How do they beat the Knicks tonight, St.?
Well, my word is pace. I think you've got to get this thing up 115 and above. The Knicks want to keep it below. And to get that pace, you've got to
defensive intensity. You got to have that. I mean, the Warriors, we've seen this team. We know what they do. When they play great defense, they get in transition. I look for them to shoot threes in transition tonight. Steph Curry, I wouldn't be surprised if he has another big game.
All right, Warriors are 43-4 up against the New York Knicks. Of course, Madison Square Garden completely sold out tonight for the defending NBA champions. Return to the Garden, and Steph Curry, the reigning MVP, putting up even a better year. And here's another celebrity, Mike Breen, and our guy Clyde Frazier talking with Brooklyn-born Jerry Seinfeld. You think Larry David's in the house tonight?
He's got to be.
He's going to do the imitation.
It's time to make room.
It's time for tip-off. Here's Spitz and JB.
The MVP bringing us back into NYC as the Warriors taking on the Knickerbockers. Second stop on this 3-game road trip with Washington coming on Wednesday. And the Warriors with Harrison Barnes 3 beating Philadelphia with 2/10 left last night. And now looking to continue the win streak. At 43-4, the whole world is watching the Warriors right now. And in the media capital of the world, you can feel that in New York. There were thousands of people here watching Steph Curry's warm-up, including Spike Lee a couple hours before the game. Our Xfinity starting lineup: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, with Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. No Ezeli, no McAdoo tonight. Langston Galloway, Aaron Aflalo, Carmelo Anthony, Kristaps Porzingis, and Robin Lopez. And Aflalo and Lopez signed as free agents that made the Knicks more than respectable 14-10 in this building. Our roundtable key ingredients, Jimmy, what do you got for tonight?
Well, number one, yes, you're here in New York, and yes, it was kind of a game last night where you're not proud of, but nevertheless you won a game playing poorly. You got to have fun. You should have fun. It's a game, but it's a business, but have fun doing it. You've done it all your life. Honor your possessions. They've just got to simply cut down on turnovers. Too many last night. I mean, the three All-Stars combined for 19 turnovers.
Yeah, it's
unacceptable.
Hard to believe. Curry opens with the three that's offline. So Langston Galloway, good story. Never drafted, worked his way from the D-League into the Knicks rotation, and now is their starter at point guard. Calderon will not play tonight. Lopez misfiring. Lopez and Aflalo signed as free agents, and Porzingis drafted. The return of health of Carmelo Anthony as Curry kicks it off his foot.
Yeah, this Galloway, the kid with the ball right now, second-year player. Averaged just under 12 points a game. That's the third highest of all the rookies, and he'd been waived 10-day contracts. He's quite a story for him.
Feed Lopez again. You see the triangle. Carmelo rimming out the jumper. Knicks had lost 4 in a row before beating Phoenix on Friday. Harrison Barnes gets by Carmelo, couldn't get it off glass.
Looked like it slipped right out of his hand.
And Porzingis with the offensive foul. He is every bit of 7'3". 20 years of age from Latvia. It played professionally in Spain and Sevilla.
Well, you can see he can handle the basketball now. It's very difficult for a man to pull up and stop. And didn't quite put the brakes on soon enough for him. That's very understandable.
7'3", 240. He dwarfs Lopez and Bogut. Nearly a turnover, but all the way through to Harrison. Draymond Green is fouled.
Porzingis picks up his second foul.
Derek Fisher, part of that Phil Jackson triangle tree from the Lakers. Second season as the Knicks coach.
He was 17 and 65 last year. 18 years as a player in the NBA. And that's quite a legacy. He played nearly 1,300 games and 5 NBA championships with the Lakers.
Curry missing the open three, and kind of an ugly beginning for the first minute and a half both ways. Galloway three, and Bogut with the rebound. Bogut had 16 rebounds last night. Galloway playing the defense.
Warriors did that last night, just tried to force things.
Highest scoring team in the league, and the Warriors is playing good defense, but offensively, we're still at zeros. Curry has been off on his first 3 shots. And Flalo can't break the seal either. Carmelo? No. All right, Jim, first one to score wins. Miss that.
Knicks will try to take away the three-point line, so they'll be vulnerable to cuts to the basket.
There are a lot of Curry fans here. Anytime Steph does anything, you're getting kind of that home applause. Lance Thomas missing the jumper.
There's another player undrafted, a good defender. They said he might even be on Curry tonight at times.
Harrison Barnes, keep working on that mid-range. I just love Harrison in the game winner last night. That's his second career game winner. Confidence is repeated success. You hit those buzzer beaters, you start to feel you can do it all the time.
He was pretty calm. He was collected. Looked like he didn't feel any pressure at all and didn't rush it, even though the clock was winding way down.
And the Knicks turn it over again. New York is 22nd in scoring, 22nd in shooting.
Watch the right side of your screen. And we get Galloway following Stephen Curry on a little brush screen out and about. I was going to say, that ball's got to go to Bogut, and Andrew thought he was shooting it.
Draymond on the re-steal. Steph split the double, kind of a wild lob. And Harrison, another three.
He was the man that was open all the way, and yet Andrew found Clay up top, and it gave them time to recover on Harrison Barnes, but it didn't make any difference.
So the Warriors are a little ragged, but the Knicks are going to use a timeout. 7-0 with 8:07 remaining in the first.
This is Harrison Barnes, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. Warriors up 7 on the Knicks. With the number 4 pick in the draft, the New York Knicks selected Kristaps Porzingis, to which that was met with many boos. But since then, the rookie Latvian star has won over the New York crowd, and I spoke with Harrison Barnes and Draymond Green and Warriors players about their take on Porzingis. Harrison Barnes called him Dirk Nowitzki 2.0. He can shoot from deep, and he has ball and shot fakes. Draymond Green said he's been playing very well. He's versatile, and he's a skilled player. And he admitted to being a little surprised at his success, you know, given that there were mixed reviews coming out of the draft. But he said New York is a big stage, and the fans and the players see the work that he's doing. Guys, are you surprised by the success that Porzingis has been having?
Well, he was an early entry in 2014 and withdrew from the draft. He comes out in 2015. He's been a quality player in the ACB League, and the Spanish League is the next best league to the NBA. But Roz, anyone has to be surprised at how well he has scored and how dynamic he has been at 7-3. Now, the McDonald's true story, he may be the rookie of the year. I mean, he and Karl Anthony Towns. I thought the interesting thing that's being reported over the weekend is that Phil Jackson lucked out and that Porzingis' agent, Andy Miller, wouldn't let him work out for Philadelphia. They wanted nothing to do with going to the 76ers. He wanted New York. He wanted the bright lights, and the kid has lived up to it. It's a defensive 3-second violation on the Warriors.
Sorry about him throwing out the first pitch with the Mets and Reds game back in June of 2015. How about somebody 7-3 slinging a baseball at you?
Well, he's got the personality, and that's also what sold Phil Jackson. They talk about a dinner that he had after the workout, and they talked about basketball and defense and why he wanted to be in New York. And at 20 years of age, he handles himself incredibly well. And this can be a super tough town, and he's winning people over. Flalo, and there is Lopez tipping it in. Ivan Lopez was a quality player in New Orleans, very good in Portland, and then signs as a free agent here in New York. Obviously his brother's in Brooklyn.
Doesn't score as much as Brook.
Bogut missing the hook.
But he got a nice contract here and plays really good defense. Yeah, I'm not sure you can go underneath the screen with a follow.
Draymond played good defense there. Galloway's a good defender, Jim. I mean, this is only year 2, but he is staying with Steph and bothering him. And Bogut's going to be called for the offensive foul.
Tony Brothers talking to Steph Curry about how he's handling and maneuvering around that screen.
Tony Brothers, Mark Ayotte, Ben Taylor blowing the whistles tonight. Carmelo will get himself to the line. The free throws were the untold story in the game last night, in that the Warriors equaled the NBA record with 2 free throws attempted and 1 made in a game. That was the Warrior franchise record, but it's also the fewest in NBA history.
Carmelo Anthony did not play in either game against the Warriors last year.
Yeah, the Warriors have beaten the Knicks 20 of the last 27 times, so Our Geico Advanced Analytics, this is what we're talking about. Teams to win. 2 attempted last night.
Well, particularly when they weren't blistering hot in the second half. They had 13 threes, but Philadelphia countered with 10 threes.
And Thompson tried to get it to Bogut. Great catch and pass by Andrew. Barnes the rebound. Steph on the reload. Steph Curry. He started slowly here. 1 of 6. Only the layup.
Mistiming and misthrowing the lobs. One hasn't connected yet.
Thanks to Galloway hitting a 3. So the Warriors had the first 7, and the Knicks have had the next 8.
They've got 7 players that make about the same number of threes. Galloway's at 37%. They share it. There's a turnover. Fundamental. Catch the ball first. It's interesting taking your eye off, and that doesn't happen often.
Now, those are the plays we're talking about. That had nothing to do with the Knicks defense. It was just the Warriors not catching the ball. And already 5 first quarter turnovers. Andre Iguodala has checked in. Did not play last night. Carmelo. He gets that deep, and you're not going to stop that turnaround. Draymond's got Galloway on a switch. This is where he's been able to punish smaller point guards, and he will go to the line. This is something we saw one time last night for the entire game. So don't blink. Draymond just shot an air ball free throw. Okay. The Coaching Corps Game Changer Awards right after the game tonight. Tara Vanderveer, Steph Curry with Hunter Pence. It'll be right after the ball game. Draymond missed the second.
Warriors 3 of 10, 3 of 11 for the Knicks. Not the start they were looking for.
Well, this is a continuation of the second half in Philly. Galloway bothered nicely by Iguodala. Great defense. And if it weren't for the Warrior defense, they'd be having a problem right now. Lance Thomas knocked it away and off of Iguodala's leg. They get 6 turnovers.
Thomas and Galloway, they think defense first. Terrific individual one-on-one defenders. As I said, Derek Fisher before the game in the press conference said even Lance Thomas at 6'8" may defend Steph Curry tonight at times.
Thomas missing the 3. Bogut another rebound. He's got 7 boards already.
Well, a lot of shots to rebound tonight.
The Knicks are 3 of 13. Klay Thompson misfiring. Knicks are 3 of 13. The Warriors are 3 of 11, and there's 10 turnovers between the two teams. Anthony will shoot 2 free throws.
Not too much to get excited about so far. It's been sloppy.
Without Ezeli, any foul issues on Bogut become a problem. So Andrews got 2. Steve Kerr's going to use a timeout between the free throws. Well, the 3rd and 4th in Philly were ugly, and the first quarter in New York has been no exception. 73 in the first half in Philadelphia, but the rest of the Warrior offense has not made the trip to the Big Apple.
And streaming on CSNBayArea.com and NBC Sports Live Extra.
Very familiar face, the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, the head coach of St. John's. All-time great Warrior is here. Our Shamrock Office Solutions Play of the Week. They double Curry. And Draymond finds Harrison Barnes. The Shamrock Office Solutions Play of the Week, the buzzer beater that beat Philadelphia last night. And if it seems like the Warriors have had a lot of those, it's because they have. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The most game winners since 2012. New Orleans, the Warriors. Charlotte, Chicago, Boston. That's in the last 10 seconds of a game. Steph's had a bunch. Iguodala had a couple. Harrison has 2.
I remember the 2 with Iguodala in Atlanta and at home against OKC.
Yeah, I remember Draymond's buzzer beater at Miami.
Oh boy.
Backdoor layup. Carmelo hitting the second free throw. So the Knicks 5 of 5 from the line, and they have a 5-point lead. We check in with Roz.
Coach Kerr was disappointed with the way the Warriors have started the game. He said, we're fouling, we're reaching, we can't afford these bad fouls. We've got 5 turnovers. Guys, we got to start to focus and play. We're so much better than we're showing right now. We've got to come to play. This is our one chance to play in this building.
Well, the other thing now is make it 7 turnovers, takes away a layup. It's another moving screen. So if they're going to call that very closely tonight, the Warriors are going to have to make that adjustment because they're giving away possessions, trying to set screens for cutters.
You've got to take what the defense will give you. You just can't force things. You keep the ball moving enough and you make the passes, you'll lose your defenders, particularly if Anthony's involved. And I'd like to see Porzingis out there because he's thinking more offense.
He's rolling early and off to the poor start, but those 5 free throws.
They're the best free throw shooting team in the league.
Number 1. Carmelo's got 9. Draymond's got Galloway on a switch again. Goes right at the point guard and puts it up and in.
I'd hate to have to live with that shot every possession. It'd be tough to score. And you see Lance Thomas at 6'8" is defending Curry.
After the Warriors had started with the 7-0 lead, it's just good to see them get on the board again. Long drought. Lopez up and under.
Mo was just a little too anxious to try to defend that. He took the bait, bit on it.
That ball kicked.
Are you going to stop a jump hook anyway? You go up like that. So he got him up in the air. Just nice footwork, pivot around, and easy layup.
So Derek Williams has become a super sub. Former number 2 pick overall. He's found a home here in terms of scoring. Steph Curry dropping in his first 3 of the night. In the game, Steph had 54. He started 2 of 7. Right now, he's 2 of 7.
An interesting little note there.
I didn't know if I'd get to use it.
I like it.
I definitely didn't want him to start 2 of 7. They run Anthony off the line. That's good Warrior defense. Don't let Carmelo keep shooting. Draymond attacking. No space, an open look. Those are good shots. Warriors the best shooting team in the league at 5 of 14 right now. Lalo had nearly all-star numbers in Orlando after he moved on from Denver. Shot clock at 5. Steph played good defense. Robin Lopez just banked in a 21-footer. I don't know if it is the Knicks' night, but that's a shot Derek Fisher wouldn't want to see the whole rest of the season. Iguodala is fouled.
You got to make them pay the price when they double team like that on Draymond Green. You've got to get a good shot out of that sequence. They got the foul.
And that is something as you're scuffling to shoot the ball.
Yeah. Find
ways to get to the line. And Iguodala did that here. Carmelo leaping. Make sure he got the contact. And drops in the free throw. 3 All-Stars going to Toronto for the Warriors. Steph, Clay, and Dre. And all the jerseys, T-shirts, all the All-Star apparel available at Warriors.com. Warriors named the co-retailer of the year in the NBA. And they got just about everything at Warriors.com.
Familiar face entering for the Knicks right now in Vujacic.
Sasha Vujacic would play for the Lakers, then went overseas and played in Italy.
decided to come back.
Run everything through Carmelo. And they try to play high-low to Williams. Draymond came for the defense. Mo Spates came to help out. That's good team D. Barbosa couldn't catch it. These turnovers are becoming ridiculous.
Well, these are elementary mistakes. You can see the exasperation from Steve Kerr. So he jumps in the air, and Leandro just couldn't handle it.
They don't even need the Knicks on the floor. Galloway 3. And Spates. Good job walling off Lopez. That's his job there.
If I'm the Warriors, I'd change balls at halftime. Seriously, I really would.
Oh, Spates. So Mo with the rebound on one end, hit the jumper on the other, and the Warriors just trying to steady themselves a bit. They played last night, but they got in early. It was a 5 o'clock tip. Short flight, and Carmelo's off to one of those nights. It's a delay of game on New York, but Anthony's got 11 already. He's shooting 43% of the season, but 5 of 5 from the line to start seeing that ball go through the basket to get that confidence. He's one of the elite scorers the league has seen in the last decade. And Steph Curry hitting a 3.
And we can hear some of the people that are here in this building looking for Steph Curry to do what he did just there.
They're going to run a lot of ISO Carmelo right now. Derek Fisher knows. He played with Kobe. When a guy's this high, you keep feeding him.
That's an offensive foul.
What move that is.
That is an offensive foul with the elbow. And
that's against an all-league defender in Iguodala. That should be a foul. That's
pretty obvious, wasn't it?
That was Mark Ayat will see that at halftime. He just flat missed him. Lopez blocking Curry out of bounds.
When he turns that corner, they're going to run 2 men at him.
So only 1/10 now. You can't secure an attempt a shot here, so you can only throw it to the rim and have it batted.
Not many options here with Derek Williams on green.
And so that will do it. Warriors scuffled in the 3rd and 4th in Philly. They do pretty much the same here in New York. They hold the Knicks to 32% shooting, so the defense was fine, but only 18 for the highest scoring team in the league. And after the first 12 minutes, the Warriors are down a deuce in New York City.
I'm Andre Iguodala, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the NBA champs.
Knicks 2-point lead as we begin the second. Jim, you want the good news or the bad news?
Well, it's early. I'll take any of them.
Well, the good news is the Warriors held the Knicks to 31% shooting and only 20 points. If they do that, they'll be totally fine. The bad news is the Warriors, despite shooting 41%, turned it over 8 times. And also had multiple fouls that were turnovers and moving screens. And so that'll have to be cleaned up.
It's continuing. 18-point quarter. Last night they had an 18-point third quarter, 17-point fourth quarter.
That's right.
I just expected something different.
Kyle O'Quinn missing there. Now they're going to say this is off of Livingston, and this is the rough one. You either call the over-the-back foul or you give the Warriors the ball. You don't want someone to go over the back and then reward him for that. A little bit of frustration for Livingston. Jaren Grant, the #1 pick out of Notre Dame, on the handle right now.
We saw his brother last night.
He did. Derek Williams sending it home. Livingston and Iguodala with Spates, Harrison Barnes, and Barbosa.
Williams recently, just a couple weeks ago, had a 31-point outing against Brooklyn, so he can get it going.
Barbosa couldn't quite reverse it. Vujicic and Williams, Aflalo, Jaren Grant, and Kyle O'Quinn. Aflalo line driving that 3.
He's missed all 4 of his shots. You want to keep him down. He's having a pretty good year.
Spates off iron.
Like to see some offense from Andre Iguodala, who rested last night. They're going to need it, it looks like. Gets inside. Might as well try to get to the line, launch it, and do something.
Quinn in point-blank range.
First year here with the Knicks, right? 3 years in Orlando.
And then with Orlando, just like a Flalo.
We've seen several times someone go up for an apparent shot, trying to drop it down to somebody, and there's just miscommunication.
Well, you can read Steve's lips. He said, Harrison, shoot the ball.
Of course. Mo wasn't ready to catch it.
No,
That's
Mo
back
was
turn.
looking for a rebound. Vujicic off iron. Bosa is fouled.
Leandro is one of those players that loves to catch the ball on the run and just initiates his play. He loves to turn that corner and get into the basket there, and he forced a foul on Vujicic.
Steve Kerr is going to use the timeout. There has been what you would kind of call concrete in the washing machine the last 3 quarters of Warrior offensive basketball. Just not used to seeing it. The Warriors are holding the Knicks 31% shooting, and yet they're trailing by 6. And you let New York hang around, they have enough firepower to give you a problem.
The perfect get-up.
The unmistakable skyline of New York City with the Warriors trailing by 6. Our Ford-right choice, Steve Kerr, was the first choice of the Knicks, and Phil Jackson, his choice was to coach the Warriors, and I would say 126-24, 70-4 at home, and 56-20 on the road. Phil knew what he was doing in terms of trying to hire Steve.
Sure.
I think Steve made the better choice in terms of the team that he chose to coach.
Well, Jackson should know something. He should know something about coaching, huh?
I don't think so.
10 years in Chicago, 6 championships, 11 years with the Lakers, 5 championships, 2 as a player with the Knicks.
Beautiful out-of-bounds play. Call that timeout, and they ran all the way through the options there and got the dunk. Jaren Grant drawing the foul and flipping that in. And Notre Dame, he played off guard. Now trying to transition to a combo guard, really the point in the NBA. He and Pat Connaughton have made the league off that Irish team that won the ACC last year. And as Jim mentioned, this is Jeremy's brother. Harvey's second son will play in the league. Horace Grant, his uncle.
He was drafted by Washington, right? And then Atlanta, and then traded with the Tim Hardaway deal.
Correct. So the sons of NBA players were traded for each other.
There are 4 of them. Still one in college.
Ray Thompson, shooter's roll.
So he got the roll, as we saw at the other end.
So a 5-point game, but no rhythm to this game at all. The stoppages, very choppy. Knicks have totally stopped the Warrior running game. Flalo post up. See, New York runs a lot of ISOs. Iguodala soaring for that rebound.
Well, Flalo doesn't usually face a guard that's a little bit bigger than he is, and a good defender to boot.
Draymond 3. Inside out. The Livingston threat in and then kick it back out.
As Steve Kerr's always saying, ball movement, spacing, rhythm, and flow. Those things all go together. That's good defense.
Iguodala is fouled.
Now, the last time you see Sean Livingston, he goes in. I thought he had a shot. He sets a screen. Clay goes through, but he saw O'Quinn come out and double team, so he said, I'm going to hit the open man. It paid off.
Kristaps Porzingis is back in for O'Quinn. Kyle O'Quinn with the Popeye and Bluto beard. Got the full-on beard on the bench. was talking to Mike Breen, the voice of the Knicks and the voice of the NBA. He said, when you're next to Porzingis, he's even bigger than you think. When you look at him at 7'3", Jim, he is a monster.
Yeah, I'm glad they're bringing him back in. I just want to get a look at him live in person.
Klay Thompson on the mid-range. I mean, the Warriors are holding the Knicks to 35% shooting. The Warriors are now 48% shooting and finally tied after the 7-0 run.
I don't think I've ever seen a 7'3" player be as mobile as Porzingis.
That's the point. Derek Williams drawing the foul. I think Williams has found a home here, Jim, because this is his role. Be a six-man super scorer. It was always, is he a 3? Is he a 4? Is he a starter? Now he just comes in. Hey, with this unit, you just score all the time. Tonight's game and all Warrior games on CSN are streamed live with the NBC Sports Live Extra app. On your mobile phone or tablet, stream the Warriors on the go. The Knicks living up to that free throw billing, the #1 free throwing team in the league, and they are perfect, 8 of 8 from the line.
That weave started a little further out than they usually do it.
They went behind the back. Livingston's second 3 of the season. Hit one in Utah, and the bench loving it. That Estot,
a little inspiration for them,
hits the triple,
and they got the lead.
Porzingis shoots that jumper easily.
Not for long to the lead. Very smooth.
He doesn't shoot it as high, but that did look like Nowitzki a little bit. Klay Thompson soaring to the rim to lay it up and in. The field goal and the foul, and Klay to the line.
Where was the foul? Where was the foul?
Now, we've had a few of those already tonight.
Well, I guess they called it on Grant.
And you know, Jim, because you played so many years, if it's going to be tightly officiated, go to the bucket.
Yep.
If they're going to have a lot of fingernail fouls, great.
Take advantage of it.
Take advantage, be aware of it. Tonight would not be the night to just settle for jumpers when you can kind of live at the line.
Thompson at 32.9, coming off the heels of that
45
point game.
So Klay's got 7. Steph is back in with 8. Warrior lead is 2. They trail by 2 at the end of 1. Warriors had a 7-point lead at one point. The Knicks have had a 7-point lead. Mark Carmelo again, ISO post up. Shot clock at 3. We had a 24-second violation, or do we have a foul? Ben Taylor has a 24-second. Mark Ayotte has a foul.
There was a lot of contact before that 24 seconds expired.
Well, they want to go to replay here to see.
What's funny, one official didn't have any fouls.
So this is not whether it is a foul or not. This is whether or not the shot clock had expired.
Let's watch this whole sequence. Double team. Draymond's going to come in. I thought there was more of a foul on the first initial move than there was on the last one. Here's where I say there's a foul right there, but they didn't call it. And they call it here.
The question, too, when you're guarding Carmelo is he's initiating a lot of contact.
Yeah, that's why.
So if you're the defender, you know, you are entitled to that space, but you know, he's one of those great practitioners along with Dwayne Wade, is he's going to bang into you a whole bunch.
He got inside a little bit, and they were on the side there, and they still got that on the wrist, and I'm surprised they didn't blow the whistle earlier.
So our Ring Central replay and review. Ring Central, business communication made simple, and
no question, he does know how to draw fouls.
Contact will be ruled before the 24-second violation. Carmelo, these are free throws 6 and 7. Shot more free throws than the Warrior team thus far.
13 years in the league, Bob. He's attempted around 6,400 free throws.
And not just all in this first half.
6,400. I mean, he's constantly over 500. One year, he was over 700 in Denver.
It's good to see him healthy. I mean, he is one of the key components of the league and really the anchor here for the Knicks. And so when he was out last year with a knee injury, they struggled mightily.
He only played 40 games last year because of that. Klay was never looking for the ball. He may have had a layup.
Quick catch and shoot three, Klay Thompson.
It's really ironic. Draymond's looking for him and saying he was thinking about making a pass, but Klay never looked back, but it ended up getting the three.
The Warriors have hit 7 straight shots. Draymond has 6 assists already in the first half.
This is part of the triangle, by the way. Derek Fisher's gotten into their offense right there. That two-man game on the other side. How about this?
I don't know what the triangle is defensively, but you don't let a guy dribble 94 feet and dunk. And Derek Fisher's going to use the timeout immediately.
He took advantage of Kristaps Porzingis.
Well, Klay Thompson, remember he's an all-star as well. First all-star game was here in New York. Barely in his hands and at 3 down. And the Warrior play the D. If you don't stop the ball, Draymond's not stopping until he scores. Times Square and all the billboards everywhere. Our Metro PCS Unlimited performance. This will take us to the Warrior All-Star break. The Wizards, the game before the Super Bowl, the Thunder. Then Houston at home, back-to-back in Phoenix. And then a much-deserved break for all but 3 Warriors and the whole Warrior coaching staff.
Then you go on that road trip, extended road trip after the All-Star break. 2 days between Washington and OKC, the home game, and 2 days before the Houston game.
Well, this stretch beginning last night, 10 of 12 on the road. Well, when the Warriors get to March 1, 17 of 24 at home. And so this is really about surviving through all these road games and all the different cities and all the travel.
Surviving and possibly thriving. Well, here's another miscommunication. You go back door on a cut, and Draymond thought Steph Curry was going to remain on the elbow.
Now, we've seen some miscommunication turnovers that are very un-Warrior-like. Porzingis misfiring on the face-up jumper.
20 years old, but I tell you what, he's got the maturity of a game out there.
Ball kicked. I just think that any 20-year-old in New York is going to have this huge media responsibility and hope, and he's handling all of it wonderfully.
You're always under scrutiny here.
You know, the kid who cried when he was drafted and the booing and everything, Porzingis takes pictures with him now, and they're like a tandem. He's out doing public appearances. Turn New York around.
The double team always comes on the block.
Oh, that's beautiful. Playing cut nicely.
You get ball watchers, player watchers, and even Lance Thomas got caught. They're always, when you throw the ball in the low block, Draymond, he's getting double teamed. You have to exploit it, and they did. Got to make sharp, decisive cuts and quick passes and quick decisions.
Lance Thomas losing the handle. Galloway smartly knocked it off of Livingston.
This last play you're going to see from the wide angle here. Thomas turns his head, number 42, and he's actually defending 2 men over there. So he's trying to space out and just lost vision. So a direct cut works for him.
Porzingis hitting the 3. Beat the shot clock buzzer. He's reasonably proficient out there at 34%. We have a foul as Steph shot the 3, but I think it was Galloway getting engaged with Draymond on that screen. So 4 team fouls apiece.
Glad to see Thompson come alive here. Did not score in that first quarter. Been really good this quarter.
And Klay's got 12 and Carmelo 13. Anthony knocked it away. Galloway racing, and that is goaltended. Did Livingston take it to the backboard, or had it hit the backboard?
Well, we're going to see it here. It hits the board.
Once it hits the board, you can't touch it.
That
It's
is
a
it.
goaltending call. Great replay look there. Clay, he's feeling it right now.
I'll tell you what, nobody's stopping
Absolutely
him.
feeling it. A 15-point quarter for Clay Thompson. Carmelo, quick seal and move, and couldn't finish.
Harris is pretty good defending down low with people. That size and even bigger.
They're riding Clay, and he sets up Livingston. And he was hip checked in the air. I'd say we saw two growth plays here in the last couple minutes. Steph didn't shoot a three when Porzingis was switched on him.
Yep.
Found Draymond, dunked for Clay. Clay is as hot as any player on the court, yet he drove and still was looking to pass to Livingston. You know, is that the Warriors, even as they're playing, are still trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, and Livingston, if he doesn't get hit, he's looking for a dunk there.
Right,
We've seen
exactly.
it. He is one great 2-foot jumper right under the rim.
Yeah, nobody would have an issue if Clay shot, or if Steph shot the three on Porzingis. Nobody would have an issue if Clay tried to finish that himself. But those two plays of unselfishness show why the Warriors are the team that they are. And Sean is at 93% this year from the line.
Glad he made those there. Warriors still 4 of 7.
That's actually the best trivia question for diehard Warrior fans.
Draymond missed those first two. Got him behind the 8 ball.
Best free thrower on the team right now. It's not Steph. Galloway with a backdoor cut. Nicely done by the Knicks.
Sometimes Steph looks for try to take a little chance to look for a steal. You got to stay with your man when he's cutting to the hoop.
Livingston avoided the travel, got rid of it just in time. Draymond attacking Porzingis to lay it up and in. Finish with the left.
Well, I'll tell you what he did very smartly. He got Porzingis under the rim. He didn't release that until he got under the rim. Otherwise, he's in jeopardy of getting the block with a 7-3 wingspan there.
Carmelo, nice take. Carmelo Anthony with 15 and another Warrior timeout. 2:46 remaining in the first half. Second quarter picking up at the Garden.
I'm Draymond Green, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Steph Curry's career high, 54 here in the Garden. Building record, Carmelo Anthony was 62. Kobe had 61. Bernard King, I have a feeling we'll see him on this list a couple times. Michael at 55 and that pass to Winnington to win it. And then Bernard King again at 55. And Steph Curry at 54. Those are the highest scoring totals at the Garden. I love that Jordan game. He was wearing number 45. He had come out of retirement. He went for 55 in the game winner. Here's Jordan going to shoot. Nope. Drop it to Bill Winnington, and he dunks it, and the Bulls win. 55, and you win it with an assist to your backup center. And that was the greatness of Michael Jordan.
I just love Bernard King, though, in the 83-84 playoffs, where he averaged 35 a game for the Knicks over 12 games.
Yeah, Bernard King did not have a three-point game per se. He was a lethal mid-range runner and scorer. And when he got hot, Jim, look out. Couldn't stop him.
I'm not sure there was a better mid-range jump shooter in the history of the league.
Either he or Alex English.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's a small conversation.
Bernard King would bring that in on the flying to that baseline. Boy, did he have a nice little push shot.
Yep. 6-foot runner, 100 miles an hour. Porzingis had that length there, knocking that away. Galloway attacking, and Draymond gave ground, just let him fall down. Klay Thompson didn't settle for the three and spinning it up and in.
A great play there because Draymond Green ran through and took a defender with him. Steph Curry all the time knew that the trailer behind Draymond was Klay Thompson. Perfectly executed.
Galloway of Flalo with Porzingis, Derek Williams, and Carmelo. Carmelo Anthony was 17.
He just prefers isolation, one-on-one. He doesn't want to screen, doesn't want to deal with another defender. He was the leading scorer in the league back in 12 and 13.
Quick pass to Draymond. Iguodala swooping in and got fouled and hung up on the rim.
Another possession before. Watch the right side. Draymond Green runs through, gives Klay Thompson an opening. Had a jump shot if he wanted, but you had a defender running at you, you're home free.
You know what I like about this is Iguodala shoots too. Klay last year, 16 points on 5 of 22 shooting in New York. Remember, he kind of pressed in that game, but he was just off. Here he is with 17 in the first half on 7 of 9. I think Klay wanted it too much in New York a year ago. And this year is just playing his game.
He played 7.5 minutes, only took 1 shot first quarter because Steve Kerr took him out, saw that they weren't gelling, thought he'd make a little change in the lineup.
Iguodala splitting a pair. Porzingis got the rebound. Porzingis is fouled. You talk to the Knick people, they say he will have 1 dunk a game that has to be seen to be believed. And you just kind of wait with that size.
Well, Spike Lee, that got Spike Lee out of his chair. He's still a Knick fan, isn't he?
You know, he's an 85% free thrower, Porzingis. And that will stand him very well, in his career.
He's so poised. He defies the 20-year-old rookie description
now,
in general.
I cannot confirm this. It's just been told to me. He doesn't shave yet. Okay. That's what the people of the Knicks say. He doesn't even shave yet. So at 7'3", he may not be done growing.
Well, he's got a nice contract, and he still can't go to a New York bar. He's not 21.
Harrison Barnes listening to my partner, Jim Barnett. Pump fakes do wonderful things. Pump faked, and Porzingis mistimed, and he was able to lay it in.
He's getting better at that.
He is.
If he can save it under the hoop, it'll be profitable for him.
Flalo missing. Iguodala's been everywhere on the glass.
I love the way he pushes it up the floor. He forces his teammates to run.
And he's fouled again.
See, that early offense, it's so nice. He gives it up at the right time. And it's a play that's been around since James Naismith. You throw it down and you split off the post and you cut to the basket.
You mean the give and go is not a new concept?
Exactly. I mean, there's a little page right out of the triangle offense that Derek Fisher's trying to instill here in New York.
Iguodala missing the free throw. But you identified it right away, Jim, is that the Warriors just do everything better at pace.
Yep.
You know, you play D, quick hitters, push the ball, cut and move. They struggle when they're stagnant.
Yep, because when the defense is set, it just makes it more difficult to play. It's like, you know, you're easy to score if it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2 a little harder, 3-on-3. And they get these situations where it's 4-on-3, even 3-on-3 or whatever it may be. The defense isn't set, and they've got people with high basketball IQ, so they make the right decisions, the right passes, the right cuts. All of those things add up. Then you've got great shooters. So you play to your strength. Is that inadvertent whistle here?
I think they want to just reset the shot clock and do that again. Warriors are shooting at 61% from the field. And the lead is only 7. Galloway missing, and Barbosa the rebound. A little small look here as Brandon Rush checks in. Draymond moves to center, and Iguodala is the power forward.
Just about 3 seconds, shot clock, game clock.
Draymond is the hub. Deep 2 and perfectly done. A little 2-man game with Steph.
Good idea to press in the backcourt a little bit. No fouls.
Aaron Grant at 2. Williams to end the half, and it's good. He hits a 3 as the Knicks play beat the clock. So a 2-point New York lead at the end of 1, a 6-point Warrior lead at the break. Warriors got some rhythm offensively in the second half of that second quarter. Klay Thompson leads the way with 17, Draymond 11. Carmelo Anthony was 17 in his own right, and Galloway was 7, and Derek Williams was 7 off the bench. 55-49 Dubs at the break, and Klay Thompson was 16 a year ago on 5 of 22, 17 in the first half, and Draymond Green 11, 8, and 4, and he's alongside Roz.
Draymond, why was it so tough to find your rhythm in the first half?
You know, the first quarter, I think we were just all over the place. Everybody was fumbling the ball and a bunch of turnovers, but I think there in the second quarter we started getting stops. Once we got stops, we pushed the tempo. Then we were able to get a little bit of a rhythm. Now we just got to get more stops.
In that second quarter, Coach Kerr had a fiery timeout. How does he pick his moments on when to fire it up?
I think he does a great job of it. He knows when the team is lacking that effort and when we need to pick it up, and he'll go at guys. You know, we know what it's all about. We know when we need to pick it up, and I think we accepted the challenge well.
All right, thanks, Draymond.
Thank you,
guys.
After that fiery timeout, Warriors 14 of 17 in the quarter and a 35-22 run to close it out. Leading by 6 at the half. Greg and Gary in the studio for Warrior Halftime Live right after this.
The consent of the NBA.
On Broadway, it's referred to as opening night jitters, but tonight I think it's just going to be opening act jitters, and it's going to be a 4-act play. The second act was much better. It's intermission time. Welcome to Warriors Halftime Live. New York Harbor, presented by Jack in the Box, Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean. Remember the fourth quarter yesterday in Philly? They had 7 baskets, 7 turnovers. First quarter was worse tonight. 7 baskets, 8 turnovers. Steph's first shot barely grazed the rim. Draymond shot an air ball, Sade. It looked like the stage at Madison Square Garden got to him a little bit in the first quarter.
In Broadway terminology, they forgot their lines. My gosh, this was just a crazy bunch of plays. Error after error after error. Air ball on the free throw line. But... you know, this team, look at that play. It almost went off his shin. I'm going to share with you that Steve Kerr has a way. He has a feel for his team. This is what a great coach does. He knows when he's got to hit him. And he put it to him. He said, hey, that's enough of this. Let's get it right here. And they came out and played sharp in the second quarter. Defense was much better. Created the pace with getting some fast break stuff. But... man, that first quarter was ugly.
They had 18 points in the first quarter. They forgot their lines, but they had Cyrano in the second quarter, and they went for 37. And Klay Thompson, lately, we've got to break down his game a little bit coming up, because Klay Thompson just looks like he's on a roll. He saved them in the first half with a brilliant performance. All of his points, after he took 1 shot in the first quarter, he scored all his points in the second quarter.
I guess he's up for an Oscar. I'll tell you, he's playing just at a beautiful pace. He knows when to slice to the hoop hard. He's hitting the jump shot. He looks beautiful.
Well, since we're going with the Broadway theme, I think it'd be more of a Tony.
Tony,
all right. We'll see if you can deliver a line when we come back. When we come back on Warriors Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box, we'll get a key from Saintly. They were down 7. They're up 6 now as they play the world's most famous arena. And hopefully all of the opening quarter jitters are done for the night. The Warriors are truly amazing. After a ghastly first quarter where they shot 7 of 17, they still shot 62% for the half. They were 14 of 17 from the floor in the second quarter alone.
If they don't turn the ball over, if they take care of the basketball here in the second half, they're going to increase this margin substantially. The other key is, how are you going to defend Carmelo? Because in the triangle, after a couple cuts and passes, they're isolating him either on the elbow in the box. may need a little help down there.
And he's just bullying. Harrison Barnes is playing him well, and Iguodala's playing him well.
time.
The problem is he's getting on the free throw line. The Warriors are fouling Melo way too much. He was 7 of 7 from the free throw line. So first quarter not so good, but the second quarter was just brilliant. And Klay Thompson with a 17-point first half. Steph Curry just 8 points in the first half. So join us after the game for Honda Warriors post-game live. Warriors try. Look at the bright lights of Manhattan Island in New York City, USA. We'll head back to the Garden, rejoin Bob and Jim. Join us afterwards for Honda Warriors post-game live. Enjoy the second half.
Half of New York City with the Warriors up 6. Steve Kerr got angry during a timeout, and the Warriors responded with a 37-point second quarter. Best shooting quarter of the season at 14 of 17. And after watching the second half in Philly in the first quarter, it was just good to see that.
Well, the Warriors were getting in their own way and their own progress in that first quarter. And the Knicks got after it defensively. They didn't make it easy for them, but the Warriors got their balance back. They found their rhythm. They got into the open court. Not necessarily fast break points, Bob, but they got good looks early in the offense. I think the only thing they've got to be concerned about is defensively cut out the fouling and keep the Knicks off the free throw line. I think the free throws for the Knicks have kept them in the game.
Yeah, the lead is only 6, and Carmelo Anthony looks like the Anthony of old with 17 first half points. The KFC Bucket Chart brought to you by your hometown KFC. Not really killing it from the field, but the line is the difference for Carmelo. That's been the big problem where he's 7 of 7.
He's only taken 1 3-point attempt tonight, and you can see he's working around the basket. They do a lot of isolations for him. Very difficult not to foul him. He is a prolific scorer.
The AT&T U-verse rewind. Klay Thompson's first half, 7 of 9, 17 points, 45 against Dallas, 32 last night, 17 in the first half. They are riding that hot streak, and he's scoring in a variety of ways.
Well, 7 of 8 from the field in that second quarter. And, of course, when he gets that hot, Stephen Curry's going to look for him. I tell you, he is really developing and learning how to finish around the basket. He is very comfortable and confident when he's going in there now.
That incredible second quarter shooting, very efficient on threes. The free throw line is the difference, and just limiting the turnovers.
3 for 6 from the line for Andre Iguodala. So you've got to get some of the Warriors who can shoot the free throws, Klay and Curry, to the line.
They've won 6 in a row. They want to make it 7 halfway done with the third quarter on the way.
44-44.
New York City. Warriors going to stay here tonight and have the off day before heading to Washington, D.C. 6-point lead at the half, getting ready to start the second half. And last day in January, and the most threes made in a month in NBA history. Steph Curry has set a new record, breaking
his own records.
Other 2 previous records. You know what month will never be a record? February.
That's the All-Star break.
You always have the All-Star break. You always play fewer games.
And another month.
And fewer days.
And another month would be April, because the season doesn't extend all the way to the 30th of April.
There you go. In October, because you only play a game or 2 in October.
That's true.
Curry, after struggling in October, has a huge November for threes. I tell you, they keep stats for everything now.
We'll have to point out when leap year comes for Stephen.
Yeah, that's right.
And then see what he can do.
Most threes in a leap year by a kid from Davidson who was a previous MVP. That's our man Eric Fisher. He's got every stat there ever was. So Flalo with Langston Galloway, Porzingis, Robin Lopez, and Carmelo Anthony. You made a great point, Jim. Just you got to stop fouling Anthony and the Knicks and make them earn it a little bit more. And Curry, beautiful steal. Threw it behind Harrison.
That's just
empty possessions.
It's so disappointing. You make a steal, you got them on their heels, and you let them off the hook. Flalo's going to get it going sometime, you'd think. Did not score in that first half.
He's 0 for 7 right now.
He's had a 38-point game this year. He's had a 31-point game.
These are the plays. It's just thrown behind Klay. Galloway, fortunately not fouled by Draymond. Galloway looks for contact more than he looks for making the layup.
3 times he's gone to the hoop in this game, come away with no free throws.
Curry will step back on Porzingis. Bogut another rebound. This game has started in the second half just like it started in the first quarter.
That was too casual. That was way too casual.
Carmelo missing the three. Bogut with another rebound. So Andrew 16 pulls last night, 11 already tonight. And there, Steph Curry hitting the jumper. Steph's been a volume shooter tonight, 4 of 11.
He's just looking for twos right now. Get back into it.
Carmelo and Bogut coming together. Harrison Barnes also in the mix. There was a nice little veteran thing between Carmelo Anthony and Bogut. Carmelo coming through got fouled and he kind of swung his elbow. He caught Andrew pretty good and immediately turned. He was like, hey, you all right? You all right? And just two veterans. It was nothing of aggression. It was just Carmelo realized he had clipped him pretty good. And that diffused right away when the two vets just exchanged words there. Steph with another steal. Running with Clay. Runs to the line and drops in the three.
Love what he did there, and he was running to the corner in case Clay became defended. He was going to be open in the corner.
Well, Klay Thompson has been the hot hand, and the Warriors are riding him. The point guard in Steph Curry prevalent as he sets up his partner for three.
Warriors post-game live right here on CSN Bay Area. Now back to Fitz and JB.
All right, Kelly, Game Changer Awards. Roz is all over that broadcast. It was a great night. Steph was terrific. Encourage everybody to watch that DVR right after the ball game. Lalo just having a tough night, and Bogut another rebound.
He didn't settle for a jumper on that one, but a follow still. No score.
Good look from Draymond to Harrison Barnes. Just didn't connect. The Warriors' first double-digit lead of the night. You're not getting to that shot at 7-3. Porzingis just missing, though. I like him. He moves. You said it right away, Jim. 7-3 guy. I've never seen anyone at 7-3 move like that.
Very mobile.
Klay Thompson, have yourself a New York night.
Very hot.
22 on 9 of 11 shooting. Yeah, who are those three Warrior All-Stars? I've heard about the triple-doubles and Draymond Green. I know about the MVP. Oh, yeah, the best two-way guard in the league, Klay Thompson. Porzingis trying to get it off glass. Aflalo the rebound.
He wants to score. He really does.
Lopez and Bogut got a piece of it. And Porzingis is fouled. It was good Warrior defense, but credit the Knicks for getting on the glass.
Bogut gives help, comes back, can't quite stop the penetration of Lopez, and then he's out of position to get the defensive rebound. And that's when Porzingis just steps in and cleans up.
I love Porzingis. They asked him in 2014. He declared and then withdrew from the draft.
Yes.
And he said, you know, I need another year against men playing over in Spain because, you know, he was all of 18 then, Jim. So it was like he knew he wasn't ready.
1 of 2 from the line, 85% free throw shooter. Not nervous at all in the Big Apple.
This year he declared and stayed in the draft. And another year of pro ball in Spain. Klay, another reverse.
Didn't rush it. You see how calm he is under the rim now? Tremendous growth there.
He's got 24 and only 2 of them are threes. Carmelo, he's just looking for fouls.
That's I'm not sure about that one.
That had no intention of making the bucket. It was, I hope my reputation gets me to the foul line.
Well, let's watch it. I just don't see any foul there whatsoever. And he's already 7 for 7 from the line.
The big rebounder of the sky agreed with you, Jim.
Did you see a foul?
No, there's 4 or 5 guys in the league that they're good at drawing fouls. They shoot a lot of free throws, and their reputation helps them get to the line a little bit. And Carmelo happens to be one of those guys. What would be frightening, we bring it up a lot, is that if Steph Curry ever becomes one of those guys, he'll be illegal. Because he's fouled a lot.
Well, I'd like to see him shoot, I don't know, 4 or 5 free throws tonight. That'd be 4 or 5 more than he has right now. Heading on to the line.
Draymond thought about the 3 and then traveled.
Yeah, I've noticed that he does that a lot. Shuffles the feet out top instead of just putting all the weight on that left foot before he goes. He's got it's a fundamental. You establish your pivot foot.
Steve, not pleased. Carmelo, beautiful coming off that screen.
Porzingis can set a big screen too. He did just there.
Lopez guessed right and blocked Curry's shot. Lalo's still looking for that field goal, and there it is. So he had been 0 for 8. He gets the field goal, makes it a single-digit ball game, and Steve Kerr takes time. Knicks are not going away. Carmelo Anthony and Porzingis will not let that happen. 9-point lead with 7:29 remaining in the third. Lopez played the D. Flalo had yet to score, and finally putting one in.
Togo's presents the Extra.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. Warriors up 9 on the Knicks. Luke Walton returns to his role as assistant coach, but his contributions may be even more impactful due to his time as an interim head coach. Luke remembers the type of assistance that was helpful to him, like substitutions, matchups, who's guarding who, little pieces of info to help the coach make decisions. Now, as an assistant coach, Luke is back and working with players, watching film, and tonight's Knicks game is his first scout to be responsible for. He said the other coaches gave him a hard time and joked, Luke's out of the ivory tower and back in the trenches fighting the war with the other coaches.
Well, that won't be for long. It may last for a year or two, but I think he's going to be back in the ivory tower somewhere.
Draymond hitting the 3 off the Bogut delivery. Luke Walton is a great basketball mind, is a terrific person, and knows how to manage people. And that's requirements to be a head coach. And people around the league all know that now. Warrior people have known that for a while. Flalo missing there. And I would say that about a lot of guys on Steve Kerr's staff. It's one of the best coaching staffs, not just in basketball, but in sports.
That's tough. He makes this.
I was going to say, Clay's just, how hot am I tonight?
How deep was that? Off balance?
Lefty leaner, 26-footer. Why not? Carmelo Anthony off iron.
Carmelo prefers the 20-footer than the 24-footer.
Steph Curry, deep 3. Hey, with Porzingis out there, you have to be even further behind the line. 7-3, that wingspan is something else. And the zinger, his own 3.
That's such a natural release. You can say, well, he's been doing it all his life, but he's only 20.
Yeah, and they don't have 23-9 in Europe either, by the way. That adjustment to the three-point line, he looks, that's easy. Draymond took him to task there.
If he comes out to defend at the three-point line, you should be able to take him off the dribble every time. And it's wise to hold that dribble and make it work for you, the first step and dribble. That's where you beat people.
Holloway a deep 2. Lopez kept it alive, but he was fouled.
Porzingis, he just has a natural shooting motion. I mean, uses his legs, shoots on the way up, shoots it before he reaches his peak, so he gets his legs into it. And he does not play like 7-3. I mean, I was going to say 40 years ago, 50 years ago, but even 10 years ago, and even now, someone 7-2, 7-3, they just don't have the mobility that he displays.
Did you like what Kevin Durant called him? He said he's a unicorn. He said there's not people that are 7-3 that shoot threes, that are 85% free throwers, that move that well at that size. He's just one of a kind. Steph wheeling around, lost Galloway, and just couldn't lay it in. Prettiest play of the night, just didn't finish off with a bucket. Well, Bogut had to sit with his 4th foul, so the Warriors have gone small here. Anthony missing, and these rebounds are important. Iguodala tracking it down. Go small, those scatter rebounds, you have to get them. Bogut's been pulling down all the defensive boards. Iguodala step back. So Andre, his first shot of the night.
I like the way Clay set him up. Clay's thinking about taking that shot, but made the basketball play.
Galloway missing. Again, Brandon Rush working on the glass. Steph just batted it ahead. That was pretty. Curry 3. So they've come to see Steph Curry explode, but he's 4 of 15 tonight. Iguodala. Great defense.
And he takes pride in that. He loves to play defense.
But when you ask him about guarding LeBron and guarding Harden, you know who Andre always brings up? Guarding Carmelo Anthony. He says that for him, Carmelo's a little bigger than Andre. He really lives on the block. He's got all the skills. He says Anthony's a challenge for him. Shot clock at 2. Lance Thomas recognizes, draws the foul, and lays it up and out. Talk about Langston Galloway. Lance Thomas is much the same. When you're not drafted out of Duke and you keep on working, those years in OKC and then get an opportunity here in New York, solid role player.
4 years at Duke. They won the championship back in 2010. But Galloway got 21 against Oklahoma City recently, overtime loss. Thomas got 16 in that same game.
Yep. Slate 9 presented by DraftKings. Speaking of Oklahoma City, that's when the Warriors get home from this trip. Special start time at 6 o'clock. Durant and Westbrook. Serge Ibaka, 888 GSW Hoop. That's going to be a fun one the night before the Super Bowl. Warrior fans have had the nervous fingernail biting a little bit tonight.
Read that Oklahoma City score where they combined for 74, those two, Durant and Westbrook.
Draymond again.
Well, see, that's the negative part of Porzingis. Tough for him to come out and defend. So you go small like that and play him at the 5, Draymond Green, they should look at that every time.
Well, Draymond's only 8 of 8. Feed Porzingis inside. Draymond gets underneath bigger players. He bothered him there. Cutting Brandon Rush to lay it up and out. All these pretty plays, and the Warriors just not finishing with the basket. It was extremely well done.
We'll make it harder than it is.
There's Anthony. That's a 4-point swing. Should have had a layup on one end. It's back down to 11.
I'd clear it out, just give it to Green again at the same spot.
Klay Thompson. 26 on 11 of 14 shooting.
Lance Thomas saying, what can I do? I'm one of the premier defenders on this team, and I can't stop him.
Jaren Grant missing. Draymond with the rebound.
How about Sean going at him?
And they're attacking Porzingis now. They're just saying, all right, it's 7-3. You're not going to come out. We're going to either jumpers, and if you do, we're going to drive by you.
He stayed off, and he doesn't realize that is Sean Livingston's game.
Yeah.
Right there. Medium range jump shot. And he's going to look to score every time because he got hit there.
And he did. Porzingis to the line.
When he's getting burned up like that, he's going to take that personally and try to bring some retribution. This is a nice, easy drive and a trip inside for a dunk. And then you come over that screen by Draymond Green, and you're a little bit late. It's too late when Clay has the ball.
Porzingis dropping in the free throw. How about the line for Draymond tonight, though, Jim?
Yes.
18 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, and 8 of 8 shooting.
Well, I'll tell you, it looks nice. He was 5 for 5 at halftime.
So briefly, the Warriors had it to 15. Back to 13 right now. Led by 6 at halftime.
They just keep looking for Clay because he is so hot.
Carmelo couldn't get there. Another 3.
It's important to learn how to move without the ball, and Klay Thompson's doing that exceptionally well.
Mullen and McEnroe like that. Clay landed in their laps. Reach-in foul there, and the Warriors are over the limit.
Clay just going in and hiding a little bit, stepping back. And he's using not only Andre Iguodala as a screen, but the man who's defending Andre Iguodala, Carmelo Anthony. And so it makes it very tough on Lance Thomas there because it's almost like a double screen. They had to switch.
Vujacic back in. Free throws are really the only thing keeping the Knicks in this game. The Knicks have been not called for a foul in the whole quarter. They were at 0 fouls for the third. The Warriors have been over the limit. Warriors are holding New York to 33% shooting from the field. But they've doubled up the free throws, 22 to the Warriors 11.
But just look at the makes and the difference there.
At 19-6. Offensive foul. Negate that shot.
That's interesting because I thought they changed that rule a little bit. You got to let someone run. Clay just tries to go through. Well, there was a push. He pushed. Okay.
Yeah, you talk to official. When you extend that arm in anything, that's when you draw it. You're right. If he had just kept running, Thomas, you have to let a guy run somewhere.
Yeah, when he doesn't have a ball like that, you can't just step in front, stay with him like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Aaron Grant missing that 3. Draymond another rebound. Not be surprising if Draymond got a triple-double tonight. And it wouldn't be stat hunting as he admitted to last night. Plenty of time on the shot clock at 10. Barbosa from the baseline. What a shooting display by the Warriors. 61% for the game.
And Barbosa knew that shot came as the clock was winding down, and that's why he launched it. He gets his first hoop.
Seeing both ends of the Warriors shoot 61%, limit the Knicks to 33%.
This is a lineup there.
Draymond with a steal. 2 seconds to work with. Livingston to a running Barbosa. Nearly banked it in.
I'll tell you, they were aware of it, weren't they? Leandro knew exactly what he had to do.
Pretty effort at beating the clock. So the Warriors build the big lead. Do they give it back as they did in Philly, or do they finish off the Knicks? Our Toyota game summary, you come to New York one time, and Carmelo Anthony looking like the superstar of old with 22. But Klay Thompson with 29 and Draymond Green 8 of 8. The good Warrior passing in evidence as they go 14 of 17 in the second. 12 of 21 in the third, and limit the Knicks to 4 of 19 in that third quarter and only 16 points, building the 17-point lead.
Well, the defense is there. Keep him off the line. Klay Thompson, 12 of 14 shooting after not scoring in the first quarter and going 0 for 1. He's got 29 points in the last 2 quarters.
Well, since the Warriors were down 27-20, they've outscored the Knicks 62-38. Steve Kerr got angry during a timeout, and his team has responded. Livingston around the rookie to dunk it down. Now, Jim, you're going to have the unrecognizable Lou Amundsen in the game.
Lou Amundsen, 10 teams he's played for.
He's got the buzz cut, though. Totally different. He had the ponytail, and then he had the man bun going for a while. Flalo missing the three.
He does look different, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Long hair that he used to have.
Livingston setting up Barbosa, and he is fouled.
By Amundsen. Well traveled. I believe this is his 10th team. He's had more 10-day contracts, waived.
He was a Warrior for a while.
He just keeps coming back.
You know, that play there with Livingston and Barbosa, I always think of the phrase where you say, if you can play, you can play.
Yes.
Leandro and Livingston are just the kind of players, same with Iguodala. They know all the situations, when to give the guy the ball, how to run or break. Chinese New Year's with the Rockets coming to town, courtesy of my favorite sponsor, Lucky Buddha Beer. That 888-GSW Hoop. If you don't want the unlucky Buddha, you want the Lucky Buddha Beer for James Harden and the Rockets and the Chinese New Year jerseys. It's coming up a couple Tuesdays from now. Last home game before the All-Star break.
By the way, with Amundsen, this is his 10th team, 10 different teams, 2 shy of the NBA record, which is 12.
Chucky Brown.
Yep. And here's what's surprising. Another man on that list, Joe Smith.
Okay.
Joe Smith, #1 overall pick. Played that long and bounced around.
With how many teams?
12.
12. Tying Chucky Brown. Wow. That I would never have gotten.
And Tony Massenberg. No, I know. Me either. That was a shocker.
Well, Lou Amundsen now with the haircut, he could go to 5 more teams. They wouldn't even know who they got. Who's that rebounded rugged guy? Look at him roll.
And the GM says, well, you don't look for him to score.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
See, you should change the name to Louis Amundsen. They wouldn't know who they were getting.
That's a nice move. A little hesitation.
Derek Layton for the finish.
Kind of a tweener with his size. Out of Arizona. 2 years there. The years in Minnesota.
Harrison Barnes off iron. Warriors have the lead at 22. It's at 20 right now. Steve Kerr would like these reserves to just continue to roll.
But they got to find 1 or 2 scores on these reserves. That's
Brandon Rush, beautiful block on Amundsen. He got cracked in the face and still made the block. Lou did not do it on purpose, just kind of cleaned out.
Who are going to be the scorers on this one?
Harrison Barnes offline there.
Well, he never got real control of the ball where he felt comfortable.
Vujacic hits another 3. Now, last night in Philly, the Warriors had a 19-point lead heading into the 4th. And it came down to a tie game and needed the Harrison 3. Tonight, they started with a 17-point lead, and it's been a pretty ugly 3 minutes to begin this 4th again.
Turnover number 17. Second quarter, they cleaned up the turnovers. That helped them. Did not give any points off their 3 turnovers.
What's amazing is with 17 turnovers allowed, as Williams puts that up and out, the Knicks have scored only 8 points off the Warrior turnovers. That just doesn't happen very often. So 8:54 remaining in the game. The Statue of Liberty in New York City.
The year 4.
Right after the ball game, the Coaching Corps Game Changer Awards with Hunter Pence, Steph Curry, Tara Vanderveer. That'll be right here on CSN Bay Area right after the ball game. And be sure to check out Steph Curry and his tribute to Bob McKillop, his head coach at Davidson. Really good program. The Warriors up 17 in New York. Our Lexus Pursuit of Perfection. Steph Curry going to start his 3rd straight All-Star game. And when you think of Warriors that have started All-Star games, Mr. Chamberlain and Mr. Barry in terms of multiple years as All-Star starters.
Well, had not Rick Barry jumped to the ABA after 2 years in the league, he would have had multiple years there. Took a little hiatus from around 1968 to 73.
Steph Curry back in the game. Without Steph, the Warriors are being outscored 22-18. With him, they're outscoring the Knicks by 21. Harrison Barnes off iron. You don't see the small unit without Draymond Green very often. Jaren Grant missing, and Derek Williams got the freebie. Harrison's playing the center here.
Well, he better block Derek Williams off.
Well, that's what Draymond just does in his sleep.
Wow.
It's going to be an offensive foul.
A dribble handoff, and they're calling the moving screen.
Iguodala is not pleased at all. He's not even sure what he did on the play. Neither is Steve Kerr.
They're going to post up Derek Williams. No, they're going to post up Carmelo. Of course, he always wants the ball.
It's a 15-point game right now. Anthony makes it a 13-point game. We talked about last night where the 19-point lead dissipated to nothing.
I think Steve Kerr is thinking this could be a quarter for Stephen Curry, though, since he's been cold the whole game.
Harrison was slipping and also fouled.
Little isolation there again.
Draymond and Clay are back in. Shot clock at 4. Curry 3.
I'll tell you the difference between that 3 and the ones he's been missing. He got it up in the air. He usually does. Other ones he's shooting a little bit flat. And sometimes, if you're a little leg weary, it can be flat.
Vujacic will hit the jumper and get another flyby foul here. So Steph has picked up his 4th.
After the shot, so it didn't really deter the progress of Vujacic, and he gets a free throw to boot.
13-point game, 9 points off that 22-point lead. The Knicks building a little momentum with a lot of time left in the game. He's got Carmelo again.
He touched his forehead.
He just palmed his forehead. Knicks played the whole third quarter without committing a foul. That's kind of an interesting way to guard Steph. You don't see that. He kind of went with a Vulcan mind meld right there.
Interesting. Made people laugh here when they showed it to the Garden crowd.
Let me just palm your forehead.
The Warriors have their top 3 scorers, which give them 55 points a night. And more than that.
Clay is ridden.
About 65 plus.
Yeah, Steph and Clay are at 51 as a tandem. We'll throw in Draymond on top of that. The Knicks have 4 team fouls here, so if the Warriors keep going to the bucket, a big disparity from the foul line. They could shoot more free throws in this quarter. Klay Thompson cutting without the ball again.
Oh, I really like that play. You get screens involving Stephen Curry coming out as a shooter, then Klay just releases. It's really, it emanates from, as Steve Kerr said before the game, they do a lot of the triple triangle offense. This is just a back in and a hope. We got numbers here, push it.
Barbosa all day for 3, and a great find by the Warriors in transition.
Well, Steve Kerr emphasizing today, pass ahead to the open man, pass ahead, good things happen. Perfectly done there.
So the Warriors not going to let this one slip away. Klay Thompson, another 30-plus point game.
During Sleep Train's President's.
Well, all the attention on Steph Curry in an 18-point game. Carmelo Anthony, I guess one way to stop him is to put your hand right on his forehead. And he actually kind of cut Steph's forehead with his fingernail. But all that attention on Steph Curry has allowed Klay Thompson to go for 45, 32, 31. And that's when you have multiple All-Stars, they pick up the slack.
Well, that's what a team is being all about here. And they're doing this without getting fast break points tonight. They don't have any second chance points to speak of at all. And they've having to grind it out. And this is the NBA schedule. But we know this, 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Stephen Curry is still on the floor out there, and he can score in a hurry. But it has been Klay Thompson carrying the load.
Yeah, Steph has that cut on the forehead, well
just
above the right eye.
No Band-Aid on it, just a little scratch. A little scratch from the fingernail.
What you don't like is the hand in the face when someone pokes you in the eye when they're trying to do that. We've had that happen before.
I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody put some hand on the forehead anyway. I put my head into Pistol Pete one time into his midsection. Same deal. I was on him tightly.
Carmelo setting up Derek Williams.
He shoots threes once in a while, but I would give him that every time. Percentages.
Warriors are going to have 2 games before they play again in D.C. Curry missing the 3. Draymond Green. How about another triple-double?
Number 9?
20, 10, and 10.
I believe it's number 9 on the year.
And there's no stat hunting for that tonight. He was beautiful, perfect from the field.
How about Barbosa fighting over the screen on Vujacic, who's been hot for them off the bench. Nice job.
Williams missing. Let's look at the Warriors small group fight for rebounds. That was nice. Klay Thompson 3.
Oh, my.
They didn't even cross midcourt. Draymond and Steph knew he's got the stroke at 14 of 17.
Was there ever any doubt or a question that people would have that he would be added to the All-Star team?
But Flalo finally with a jumper. Those 9 triple-doubles. Tom Gola, the most in team history in the 59-60 season.
Ooh, I love it.
With 9.
Tom
Barbosa
Gola
to the line.
out of LaSalle. There is no hesitation at all on that last shot by Klay Thompson. They have plenty of time on the shot clock.
Watch Draymond do play before play. That's in.
I'm telling you.
That's in.
It's deep, but it's in.
I'll tell you that he is something else.
He's special. And there are players you could take, Bob, and they could have numbers on a team and go say carry a team, and they couldn't do it. Klay Thompson is becoming one of those franchise-type players where he could be your premier scorer on a team, and he wouldn't need much help to continue what he's doing.
Okay.
I mean, he has that kind of talent, and his growth has been phenomenal.
But I will tell you, to me, one of the funniest things I hear is that, well, if Klay wasn't on the Warriors, just to your point, what would he do? Okay, Aaron Aflalo averaged 20 for Orlando.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Klay would average 20 for another team, too.
He could carry it a lot more than that, yeah.
You know,
And by the way,
come on.
Don't take this out of context. We're not talking about Klay going anywhere or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about talent and what you can do. There are a lot of players that could give you 20, but he'd be on the losing team. He could carry you on a winning team.
That's why he and Steph are so perfect, which is why the Warriors signed him to an extension to make sure he would be here a long time. Off iron there.
Tell you, when he misses, though, it's usually long or short. The same with Stephen Curry.
I just have never seen a stretch in Klay's career where he's moved this well without the ball. All these layups and finishes have been spectacular.
Yes, well, that's what I'm talking about, is growth.
Oh, growth, yep. Vujacic, nice take. Lays it in, draws the foul.
He's better than he was before. At least he is in this game, from what I remember. I always thought he was pretty predictable. He'll take a lot of threes, and that's about it.
A nice moment there with Draymond and Steve Kerr. Draymond took ownership of last night's game. He just said, hey.
Yes, he did.
I was the one throwing the ball around. I wanted to get my triple-double. Instead, I was turning it over. I hurt my team. And tonight, the All-Star responds with 20, 10, and 10. Perfect from the field, 9 of 9. Leads the NBA in triple-doubles. First 250 games, he had 1. Now he has 9 this year.
Well, everybody's talking about him as well, as much as Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. When you go around the league, and what does he do? It's interesting what he does at both ends of the floor now. Is he a better defender than offensive player? I don't know. The way he generates with this offense and generates everybody else.
Good movement there to set up Brandon Rush. That's well done by Mo Spates and Ian Clark and executed perfectly.
Isn't it interesting? It's very interesting about Harrison Barnes misses 16 games, and it revitalizes the career of Brandon Rush.
Yep.
Singularly, that's what happened. He's got his confidence back. Look at this defense. 2 blocks now.
Brandon was scrimmaging well a year ago, but was not playing well in games. Ian Clark off iron, but Steve Kerr and the coaching staff still believed in him. But he had to play well to believe in himself again. And the Harrison Barnes injury allowed him that playing time. You know, if you talk to the Warrior coaching staff, when they get Brandon Rush the start, it was like, you know, Harrison's out. Well, let's just start Brandon and see what happens. But otherwise, we have a lot of other rotations and different ways we can go. And he took advantage of that opportunity. And you always talked about it as a player who started and reserve, that when you get that opportunity, you got to make the most of it.
You always have to be ready. And we talked about Steve Kerr last night in 2003, where he sat on the bench for game after game after game and came in into a playoff situation, hit those 4 threes, and brought a comeback for San Antonio. They went on and won the game against Dallas.
And the other thing, it's a testament to who Brandon is as a person, as he was so popular among his teammates, even not playing last year, is that as he had success in Harrison's injury, his teammates were cheering for him, you know, as much as the fans. It was great.
You always have to remember, as a player sitting on the bench and everything, there will be a time where you're called upon and you'll get an opportunity. There will be there, so you better be ready for it.
Ian Clark is fouled. And think about when Barbosa was out, and Ian made the most of it, and he took a hard fall there. Just kind of collecting himself. 7 games in a row, Jim, with 30 or more assists for the Warriors. I mean, the 6 in a row, he went back to 93-94.
I was going to say, it's been about 15 years since they've reached that mark.
And that 93-94 team also had 7 in a row.
There you go.
So this equals that. They're replaying whether or not this is a flagrant foul. It is a flagrant foul, so it'll be free throws plus possession. So flagrant 1, unnecessary contact. Kyle O'Quinn went with the swing and the crack to the head. Remember, it has nothing to do with making a play on the ball or anything like that. It's unnecessary contact, and that was unnecessary. You don't officiate intent. It's not, oh, I didn't mean to hit him in the head. No, you clotheslined him in the head. So 2 free throws, and then the possession to the Warriors. Kyle O'Quinn actually went and checked with Ian Clark, made sure he was all right, but that was correctly reviewed and called. Couple games or days off, and then Washington, Oklahoma City Saturday. Jason Thompson is fouled. And then Houston, Phoenix. The All-Star games coming here a lot quicker than you think. And the Warriors want to continue their winning ways. 252, 21 wins in the last 28 against the Knickerbockers. Warriors not letting this lead slip away in the 4th. They have put it on the Knicks really from the first quarter on. And Klay Thompson, our Rams shot of the game. He drives to the basket better than he ever has. He moves without the ball and finishes at the rim. And our Rams shot of the game for Klay. His 9th 30-point game of the season. And 45, 32, 34 in his last 3.
He's learning how to drive, take off with a little bit of airspace, and show the ball to get the defender to commit. And then he commits and he goes the other side. And he knows how to use English now, so he's got a couple of ways to score inside where he uses his elongation, leaping ability, and so now he's got a little more coordination to score in different ways around the rim.
He had the 45 on 20 shots and 34 tonight on 18 shots.
Earlier in the year he had a big run there. They got to a little bit of a funk there for a while, but has come out of it in a big way.
Thanasis Antetokounmpo has checked in. And is Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother.
Older brother.
Just signed out of the D-League. Thanasis, like Jackie Onassis. And Antetokounmpo doesn't rhyme with anything else, so just learn how to say that.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, oh, you do it very well.
Takes practice, doesn't it?
It does. That's why people call him the alphabet.
It's all Greek to me.
Well played. But he had been in the D-League. Says Galloway had been.
This is only a second NBA team. A game, I should say, for Antetokounmpo.
That Red Auerbach Victory Cigar, Jim, is the most Bates 3.
There you go.
He has done it in almost all recent blowout wins. Started really in Chicago, did it with San Antonio, did it against Dallas, and that's when you know the Warriors are up big and having fun, is when Mo shoots threes. And he only shoots threes late in the game when they're kind of having fun. And Ian Clark is fouled. So the Honda post-game live. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean, Monty Poole. We'll talk about this one. I think there's a couple interesting things about tonight is that after the ugly second half, you would have thought the Warriors would have some incredible first quarter against the Knicks. And yet the first quarter tonight was a continuation of the Philly second half. It was ugly. Outscored 20-18. Turned it over 8 more times. Just sloppy basketball. After the first quarter, when Steve Kerr got a little fiery, then the Warriors have looked like the world champs.
They took care of the basketball so much better, and they played pretty good defense all throughout.
Well, they've held the Knicks to 35% shooting, and the Warriors are shooting 60%. And the 7th straight game with 30 or more assists. And you do all this when Steph Curry is 5 of 17. Yeah, that's the depth of the Warriors. Amundsen inside.
I want to see Antetokounmpo score. You know, he's batting 1,000 already in his NBA career. 1 for 1.
Mo Spates will get to the line. Does 44-4 work for you? In terms of a little symmetry right there. Continuing the best start in NBA history.
44-4 is a pretty nice number. You get used to it. You expect it.
I think this team gets used to it. I think they enjoy it, but I don't think they take it for granted.
No,
I think
you can't.
They know every team is gunning for them. Coaching Core Awards coming up right after the game and right after post-game live. And I think the Sixer game is a good reminder of that. Every team is coming for the world champs. Every night. And there will be no off nights. Steph Curry is going to get a war wound from his time in New York. And that scratch courtesy of Carmelo.
Antetokounmpo with a dunk.
He wanted Thanasis to score, and he did.
He's 2 for 2 in his career. 2 games.
He needs more touches, Jim. He's got the perfect percentage. Ian Clark, 3. Spates working on the glass. Vujicic, good hustle there. Antetokounmpo can dunk. He's done a couple of it. You know, he looks like Kendall Gill. Facially and haircut, he looks just like Kendall Gill. And he leaps like him, too.
I remember Kendall from Illinois.
Well, he's doing TV work in Chicago for the Bulls. I just saw him when we were there. Spates missing that 3.
Little Kendall in Charlotte. Very good there.
Amundsen unable to finish. Warriors will have to shoot it one more time. Klay Thompson leads the way with 34. Draymond Green a triple-double. Livingston had 11 off the bench. He was perfect 4 of 4. Carmelo 24 and Porzingis 14 for the Knicks. Last 28 times the Warriors have played the Knicks, they have beaten them 21 of 28. Antetokounmpo's perfect career is over as he misses the shot there. And the Warriors go to 44-4. The best start in NBA history continues. And 2 games on the 3-game Eastern trip are done. Curry went 5 of 17. The rest of the Warriors 37 of 56 tonight. And they win it going away 116-95. Warrior postgame live presented by Honda. Coming up right now on to DC. And the Warriors continuing the winning streak.
On a night when the MVP was a little off on Broadway, the other 2 All-Stars were combined 23 of 27 tonight for 54. Draymond with a triple-double, 20, 10, and 10. And Klay Thompson was just magnificent tonight, a game-high 34. Let's go back to the world's most famous arena and rejoin Roz.
Klay, early in the game, the team needed something, and you stepped up in the second quarter. Did you feel like you needed to take the team with you?
Not really. I was just trying to be patient, cut off the ball as much as possible, open up, shots for me and as well as everybody else, and just, stay patient.
It's not just tonight. It's been a groove. The past 3 games, over 30 points per game. What's clicking for you?
Just, not settling for bad shots, playing as hard as I can every night, trusting my teammates.
Oh, you were ready. Festus, you have really been on fire lately.
Yeah, I know. They're trying to kill my vibe right now. It's all good.
No, you're even aware of when they're trying to splash you, but you've been doing a great job moving without the ball. You've been cutting or dribbling into traffic even sometimes and still under control. How do you do that?
It's not forcing it, playing at my own pace, and just, not playing within the offense, not trying to do it all on my own.
What do you guys take pride in that helps this team be so great at execution?
Just, sharing the ball as much as possible. I mean, that's when we're at our most fun, is when everybody gets a touch and that thing's flying around the perimeter. That's when we're at our best.
How tough is it to do an interview when you got to watch out for your teammates pouring water on you?
It's not easy. It's easy to lose your train of thought, but I'll be all right.
I thought you did well. Thanks, Klay.
Thank you, Rob.
Guys.
Well, that was interesting. That's a nightly occurrence now. Welcome to Honda Warriors Post Game Live. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean. His last 3 games, St. Lee, 45, 32, and 34 more tonight. His jump shot was just picture perfect. He was 14 of 18 floor. When he gets his shoulders square, his feet balanced seemingly on every shot. The one when he had that leaning in, I don't know where that came from. That's not Klay, mid-third quarter. Yeah. He is just such a beautiful shooter to watch.
He's textbook. He really is. For any young players out there, really study his body mechanics. They're absolutely perfect.
Look at this.
There he is. John McEnroe and Chris Mullin.
2 of New York's favorite left-handers.
There's Mully.
Chris Mullin and John McEnroe have been friends for years and years. And McEnroe was there to see St. John's. Chris coached in the Garden today with your son on the bench. So then they got to, like to see Mully get into a shooting contest with Klay Thompson. That would be fun. Let's go back to the world's most famous arena, go courtside and bring Bob Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett. And we're going to roll some video coming up later on, Fitz, of Allen Houston. From the moment Klay arrived, he reminded me of the former Piston turned Nick from Tennessee with a shoulder square, just beautiful shooter. And to watch Klay just drop jumper after jumper tonight, what a show he put on.
No, I mean, there's no doubt about it, Greg. And I think with the way the Warriors play in New York, it's the world's most friendly arena. 21 of 28 now against the Knicks. And after a clunky first quarter, the Warriors played beautifully. And it's not just Steph. It is Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and the rest of the Warriors that after the first quarter just took control of the game.
Yeah, and things don't always go the way of your game plan. You can chart it out and everything, but then things don't work, and you have to work through it. It's an NBA game, and it's a process. Miserable in that first quarter. And Stephen Curry never got his game together, at least from the perimeter shooting tonight. We'll see how that works out later on against Washington. But Klay Thompson was brilliant. I mean, 5 of 6 from three-point range. But I like what the bench did, because the bench gave them 41 or 42 points, and they were really good taking care of the basketball. They did not commit a lot of turnovers, and Livingston was terrific tonight.
Also, too, the coaches are going to feel good because they held the Knicks to under 40% shooting. The Warriors around the country, people see the scoring. They see the 7 straight games with 30 assists. The coaches are still keeping the defensive stats, and they guarded New York tonight. Other than the foul line, some of the best defense we've seen.
Exactly. I thought their defense was superb and took the Warriors out of their flow and out of their movement and everything like that. They made it a very, very tough game, but they're just not good enough to stay with this club in the long run. And by the way, Allen Houston still here in New York, Greg. I think he's the assistant GM for the Knicks.
Yeah, Greg, you know we checked all the boxes here. The Warriors got to win. You saw that Draymond had a triple-double. Jim got to see Porzingis, and he got to say Antetokounmpo. So once you've done that, the game's done. Then it's time to say goodbye.
And I got to shake hands with John McEnroe.
And he got to see McEnroe and Mully, too. So it was good all the way around.
Oh, great night. And I got to interview Clyde Frazier on the pregame show. We all had fun tonight.
Perfect
And you guys get tonight and tomorrow night in Manhattan. Barnett, be a good boy. We'll talk to you on Wednesday from Washington, D.C. And seeing Chris Mullin walk off the floor with Klay Thompson, I'm just thinking, Chris was a tremendous catch-and-shoot player. But his strength, like his hero, John Havlicek, he wore 17 to honor Hondo, was the off-the-ball perpetual movement. And when you watch Klay Thompson, he came into the NBA as one of the best catch-and-shoot players. Right now, he averages about 10 points a game on just catch and shoot, no dribble, shoot in less than 2 seconds. They have a stat for everything. But now, he's beginning to play like Chris Mullin, where he's lethal off the ball with perpetual motion, Saint.
Pop, that's a great call. And, you know, I've spoken many times about the growth of this guy's game. And we all talk about the jump shot. But look at that. Why did he do that? Because the white shirt ran at him. And he had the presence of mind to drive off the dribble. There it goes in the post. What does he do? He cuts to the basket and shakes free. There he's using a high pick beautifully. And again, the white shirt runs at him. Shot blocker there. He goes to the right side and makes the tough layup. The knack to drift when there's dribble penetration to get yourself open is special. And watch him there. That's just one-on-one, and you must keep in mind that Klay Thompson is 6'7". So
Look
when
at
you
those numbers.
I know, just mismatch.
He missed 4 shots. He was
Unreal.
14 of 18. He made 5 out of 6, and he scored the 34 points in 32 minutes. So now 3 straight games. Wow. He had 32 yesterday in Philly. He had 45 in the big game in Dallas on Wednesday night. And we've been comparing him to Allen Houston for years. For you young fans out there that don't remember, Allen Houston came from the University of Tennessee to the Pistons, signed a huge deal with the New York Knicks. And watching him play at the Garden tonight, we thought we'd roll some video of Allen Houston, who had just a great jump shot. Look at this, Saint. It's like you're looking in a mirror. 2 of the great catch-and-shoot shooters we've seen in the NBA the last 40 years.
Hips and shoulders perfectly square, and the follow-through is just textbook. Watch both of them follow through. They snap that wrist. We like to call the duck's head, where you follow through and you can see the top of the wrist, and they leave it extended. The elbows locked. Just gorgeous shooters. Watch it again.
It's the balance in the feet for me, Saint, where the shoulders are always square to the target, and the feet are always at shoulder width apart, just perfectly balanced shooters.
And Allen, terrific guy. He's the general manager of the NBDL team for the Knicks in Westchester.
T-League team, yeah.
Yeah, and but he didn't have the game that Klay has. His game has just really blossomed, and as I keep saying, the game's in slow motion for him right now. He's just playing really under control. He's taking what the defense has given him. He's a matchup nightmare for the opponent.
Yeah, and a night that Steph Curry was a little off Broadway tonight. Steph was just 5 for 17 from the floor. Your 2 other All-Stars were just brilliant. They combined to go 23 of 27. Draymond Green had a triple-double tonight and did not miss a shot, Saint. He was 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, his 9th triple-double to tie Tom Golda's franchise record, his 10th of his career. And he put away the nightmare of the second half yesterday in a bad first quarter by just taking it right to the rim and just finding teammates. He played a flawless second, third, and fourth quarter.
Point power forward. He knew he had Porzingis on him, so he was wandering around that three-point line. And see how Porzingis reached out toward him? That keyed him to drive the basketball. When Porzingis stayed off of him, then he was going to shoot. Again, he got the balance. Porzingis leaning forward, that told him to drive. He was going north-south, and he had the advantage there. This guy played a terrific game, and I love his accountability last night. He put it on his shoulders. He made some mistakes. He let Philly get back in the game. Look at that, Pop.
Those are all offensive stats except for rebounds. You can't even quantify what he does. Well, you do with a plus 28. While he was on the floor, the Warriors outscored the Knicks by 28 points tonight. But it's like we always say, the reason he's so lethal, he can guard bigs like Porzingis, who's bigger than this guy at 7'3", but bigs can't guard him out on the floor. He can walk smaller guys inside. He'll face up bigs. They just can't guard him on the other end, Saint.
Well, you're right on in everything you said. And then take it a step further. When they're on defense, he can go and switch on the pick and roll and go out and guard smalls. But when they go to the small lineup, if he has to guard the big, he does. So everything that you put a checklist next to, he's got a check plus. This guy, he deserves all the accolades he's getting. Terrific basketball player.
44-4. Raise your hand if you ever seen 40 above 500.
Wow.
I mean, never. 40, if we'd ever seen 40 above 500 at any point in the year, Saint, they are 44-4, 22-4 on the road on top of the 22-0 at home. Amazing.
It really is. You know, I hope we're all not getting spoiled. You know, we just keep hugging this because it's beautiful stuff.
Yeah. All right, so the Warriors win big in New York, and the best part is they get to spend the night in Manhattan tonight. They're going to play an off day completely tomorrow in New York. They're going to practice where?
At St. John's on Tuesday morning.
Maybe Chris Mullin and Klay Thompson will get into a... Could you imagine that shooting competition between Chris, Steph, and Klay?
Oh, my gosh.
Now,
tickle the twine.
From 20 feet, I'll take Mullin. From 24, I'll take the Splash Brothers. We'll be joined by Monty Poole as we continue on Honda Warriors Post Game Live.
Warriors post-game.
You guys sit down. This is not about me. Thank you for that. All the nice comments throughout the night and celebrating all the great that's happened in the Bay Area through myself and my entire teammates and organization. Got the Warriors table right there. So I'm just a part of a great story and a great journey. It's been talked about all night about different stories and what each person and each mentor, each coach has meant to us as athletes and how we got to where we are. And we walked out to that room and saw the trophies. That's a great memory of the journey that we've all been through. So to be able to be here to represent all those people that have influenced my life, my parents, my family, all my coaches that I've had, and most specifically Coach Bob McKillop of Davidson College, who gave a scrawny kid who looked like he was 12 years old trying to play Division I basketball a chance when no other school came knocking at my door.
Great stuff there. Steph Curry honoring Bob McKillop. It's our Coaching Corps Game Changer Awards dinner presented by Levi's. It'll come up right after we're done tonight on Warriors Post Game Live at 7:30 tonight. Steph Curry, Hunter Pence of the Giants, Stephen Vogt of the Oakland A's, Derek Carr of the Raiders, Torrey Smith of the 49ers, Tara Vanderveer, the Hall of Famer from Stanford, plus a skills competition with the Sharks' Big Three, Joe Pavelski, Joe Thornton, and Logan Couture. That's right after we're done at 7:30. After we're done on Honda Warriors Post Game Live. Final score tonight is 116-95. Warriors, after a rough opening quarter, they get brilliant performances from Klay Thompson, goes for 34. And Draymond Green, his 9th triple-double of the year, did not miss a shot. He had 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists after being selfishly unselfish yesterday. He played a perfect game tonight for Steve Kerr and the Warriors.
Draymond was fantastic. He got us going. That's what he does. You know, he seems to get a triple-double or come close night after night. He does everything for us, and I thought his energy, especially early in the game when we were struggling, his energy kind of carried us forward.
It didn't look like he had to do much chasing on this one to get the triple-double.
Yeah, well, you know, I looked at the stat sheet, you know, late third or early fourth, and I think he was one rebound away. And I like it better when he needs a rebound than when he needs an assist. It's a lot better.
People in the first row like it, don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's, you know, in the overall scheme doesn't mean much, but this was the 7th straight game with 30 assists. I mean, what does that tell you about your team?
That's what we do. You know, we want to move the ball. We've got a very skilled roster, playmakers and shooters, and they're committed to each other. They're unselfish. So we feel like we should get 30 assists. We're going to play fast and a lot of possessions, and we hardly ever get to the free throw line. So we gotta you know, make shots, and we do that when we're moving the ball. And we got away from that early in the game, and then second quarter, we finally started moving it, and we changed the tempo.
44-4 ties the top 48 games started in NBA history. What does that mean to you?
It means I'm glad I'm coaching this group of guys. I mean, they're amazingly talented, and as I said, committed to one another. And we're not really paying much attention to the record. We're just trying to get better, but we don't take winning for granted. That's for sure.
Steph, by his standards, not a great shooting, but Klay, just what Klay brought for you.
Yeah, Klay was terrific, and that's obviously the advantage we have with our backcourt is if one guy's not shooting well, usually the other guy is. It's very rare that both of the two have poor shooting nights, and Steph wasn't on tonight, but Klay picked it up, and he was brilliant. And the range that those two guys have means that we can open up the floor, and the defense has to extend out, and then you see a guy like Draymond or Andre or Brandon Rush, they're driving to the basket, and there's not as much help. So the shooting range is a big deal for us.
Did you have to address what happened in Philly in the second half last night?
No, I didn't talk about that.
Draymond was also quite efficient on defense against Porzingis.
Yeah, Draymond was great against Porzingis. He pressured him out on the perimeter, and Porzingis is going to be a great player, but he's still young, and he's going to get bigger and stronger as he goes. But right now, Draymond has he's been in the league for a few years, so he knows how to put pressure on people.
Is your anchor on defense? We can say that he's your anchor on defense.
Yeah. I mean, Bogut and Draymond are really our anchors in the paint defensively, but we've got a lot of really good long-limbed defenders, Andre and Sean and Klay, and that's why we're able to play a lot of different people, and even if we're in foul trouble, we're able to go to others and get help.
When you have a night where it is a slow start like that, how much does the guys' comfort level with each other to just keep at it and keep running what you need to run, play into it?
Yeah, I mean, they're very confident, and so even if we get off to a slow start, I don't think they ever panic. If anything, I want them to be more focused. Sometimes we come out and we toss the ball around and turn it over, and we look like we're not interested. And that's what happened tonight. I thought we just didn't have the edge that we needed early, and then we found it. I thought, mid-second quarter, we found our groove and we started to play.
Steve, last year go to that small lineup. Harrison Barnes guarding fours or bigger guys is not typically the first thing people think of as being really important. A lot of times guarding bigger guys, tonight guarding Carmelo. Do you feel like it's maybe more important than people might initially think?
What, Harrison guarding? Yeah, no, Harrison is a big part of what we do because of the way the league is nowadays. Very few low-post big men. So we're able to play that lineup. That's what we did in the finals, last year, the last 3 games where we started Harrison and Andre with Draymond. And it's a big reason why we really like Harrison. I mean, it may not always stand out. His numbers don't jump off the page, but he can guard low postmen, and that gives us a speed advantage at the other end.
Steve, last year must have been quite a whirlwind for you. With the time off this year, did that give you any additional perspective that surprised you, anything that you took away from?
The only perspective that I might have gained is how much I love my job and how much I was missing it. It was really tough to be away, and I was thrilled that the team was doing well, but at the same time I was so disappointed to be missing out on what was happening. We're well aware this is uncommon to have a group like this, to have a run like this, to be coming off a title and playing the way we are. This is a kind of an era that we should relish and take advantage of, because it's not always going to be like this. And I missed all that when I was out.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
We're going to have Klay Thompson.
Oh, it's great to have him back, isn't it? Look at Draymond Green, his 9th career triple-double tonight, tying Tom Gola, and that's spelled G-O-L-A. And Guy Rogers, the Hall of Famer. Keep in mind, they didn't keep blocks and steals in the NBA until Harvey Pollack brought it to the attention of the early 70s. So Wilt I'm sure he had some blocks and triple doubles there that were not quantifiable. Let's go inside the paint, brought to you by Bay Area Mini. Bring our insider Monty Poole into Honda Warriors postgame live. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean, and Monty. He was 9 for 9 from the floor tonight and the triple-double. He went 20, 10, and 10 with a 9 for 9. That's the best in the NBA since Wilt Chamberlain as far as a perfect shooting night and most attempts at a triple-double. Wilt in 1967. Incredible run here for Draymond.
And we shouldn't be surprised after what Draymond did last night, calling himself out, saying that he was unselfishly selfish, and basically laying the blame on the Warriors' collapse on himself, that he would come out today and play an outstanding game. And you saw it from the beginning. He was in a rush to be good, and then he settled down after the rest of the team settled down after that timeout. And you saw Draymond at that point just put his whole game together. He realized, first of all, that Kristaps could not guard him on the perimeter, and he attacked him in the paint there. And as far as his passing, as far as his rebounding, he had the entire game today, and it was as good as you ever see him.
Who was the last Warrior to have a 9 for 9 shooting game?
Chris Mullin.
The flat top from Flatbush.
16 years ago.
Every time
26 years ago.
Every time I bring his name up, you smile, don't you? And how about Steve Kerr? Go back to the early part of the game. This was a dreadful early performance. Our BMW turning point, Monty, as you detailed in your column at CSNBay.com. Steve Kerr, who had his face in his hands for most of the night. What am I watching here? Calls a timeout early second quarter. They're down 24-18. It would go to 27-20. Then they go off on a 20-6 run to go up 40-33, and that was pretty much it. But when he doesn't normally air them out, at least we don't see it, Monty, but he got after him apparently in this timeout.
Yeah, you know, he will call a timeout on occasion and light into him, and today that's exactly what he did. He saw a continuation from last night's fourth quarter and said, you know what, this is not going to happen, guys, tonight. And he called them over, read them the riot act, and they responded, and you saw them. They picked it up immediately. They had 8 turnovers in the first quarter. They had 10 the rest of the game.
You know how seldom he has to do that? Do you understand what other coaches in the NBA are going through? So when he pressed that button, and this is the respect, mutual respect back and forth, they knew, hey, we got to get it going here.
Yeah.
And great response, played great in the second quarter. And it just carried on the rest of the game. But he had seen enough. That was a very good timeout.
They just played smarter basketball the rest of the way, and then they took their time in doing things. They shot 41% in the first quarter, 62-5 the rest of the game. So they pulled it together nicely.
Most of the time, he doesn't have to say a word. He just looks at you like Steve Kerr could look at you. It's like, uh-oh, I let him down. But I think he said, we were awful in the second half yesterday. We were awful in the first quarter.
He had a few words for him.
They said, hey, Coach, your 44 is 4. Even your awful is better than everybody else's. We'll hear from Klay Thompson after his 34-point performance tonight on the floor inside the world's most famous arena on Warriors Honda Postgame Live.
The perfect Bay Area.
All right, it's time for do-do-do-do. You remember Derek Williams, the number 2 overall pick in the draft, Saint? Not shooting well from outside, but that'll work. A little dunk over Mo Buckets, so we give you the obligatory Nick highlight. Now it's on to the Klay and Dre show. Klay Thompson, beautifully done. He had 17 in the second quarter. There goes Derek Williams, blow by. All right, Draymond needs one more rebound for a triple-double. He's going to get it in a putback and make it a 9 for 9 shooting game. 20, 10, and 10. And the Warriors have won 7 in a row. And they are 44-4. San Antonio Spurs lost last night in Cleveland, 117-103. Tim Duncan did not play. He has not played 4 of the last 5. Clippers won today as they beat the Bulls at 120-93 at Staples Center. So Warriors have a 4.5 game lead over the Spurs. And we'll see Oklahoma City on Saturday night. Don't sleep on that game. For Klay Thompson, another big night tonight as he goes for 34 points. He and fellow All-Star Draymond Green were brilliant.
And Draymond has a connection for everybody. He's one of the top assist guys in the league as a power forward. I mean, he just really doesn't have a position, though. That's how unique his game is. But, he's going to get it to the hot hand, whoever it is. He is a great talent, and it's a huge reason why we're 44-4.
These rare nights when Steph doesn't have it, do you feel a need to step up or to look for your shot more?
Very rare nights. Not really. Just play within the offense, stay aggressive, move without the ball. I know my shot's going to come. And hope Jim's talking about me. And that's about it.
You and the team each had a slow start tonight offensively. What changed when you came back into the second quarter?
Oh, Coach Kerr got on us pretty good. You know, he had a terrible clipboard throw, but other than that, he was very animated on the sideline. We responded well to it. You know, he told us we were playing very embarrassing, and just to pick it up because we only get to come to the Garden one time a year.
You guys go
to pinpoint to something that you guys could do better?
Yeah, focus. I mean, we need to get our focus better every night because we're going to get every team's best shot. And like tonight, we came out lethargic. It was back-to-back, and some nights it's going to not be the same energy there because it's a long season. But we can play a great focus. I don't see many teams beating us.
Someone has the hot hand, and maybe someone else is a little colder. Do you guys have to verbalize that? Do you guys have to talk about it, or Draymond and everyone just knows where the ball needs to go?
Not really. We don't really talk about it. We might drop a play for the guy, but I mean, we got great basketball minds out there. It's kind of like a subconscious thing that, you know, you realize you might make that extra pass to him, and yeah, we don't really verbalize it though. It's kind of just a thing you feel, and it's chemistry. It's years of playing together. It's years of practice and just trusting each other.
All right, Splash Brothers will spend a couple of nights in New York, go to Washington, D.C. on Tuesday, and they go up against Bradley Beal and John Wall and the underachieving Wizards. We'll get you ready for D.C. on Hondo Warriors Postgame Live.
For $270 a month.
Heard our Honda drive ahead, and the Warriors are actually going to spend the night in New York, and tomorrow night they will be flying to Washington, D.C. At point guard, it's a matchup of three. Each guy has made 3 All-Star appearances. John Wall chosen again for a 3rd time. Good numbers this year overall. Last night against the Rockets in a win, Sandy had 19 points, 13 assists, and 8 rebounds. But they have underachieved this year. Bradley Beal has been hurt. They've lost 15 home games this year.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. Nene's been out a lot. Gortat was out for a while. Their bigs haven't been there for them. And then to lose Beal, that's a real serious blow because he's a quality young player. Like you guys are saying, they haven't played good basketball on a consistent nightly basis.
Yeah, John Wall called himself out earlier this season because he said he was playing poorly, and he was playing poorly. He picked it up for a game or 2 or 3 or 4, and then they started right back with the inconsistency. But Beal's absence has been big for them.
He just can't stay healthy, Saint.
Yeah.
No, he's had a rough run, and I feel for him. He's in his contract year, and hopefully he'll feel good the second half of the year, but not Wednesday.
All right, Wizards are going to play tomorrow night in Oklahoma City, so the Warriors' next 2 opponents will play tomorrow night. So it'll be nice to get the win on Wednesday, sweep this 3-game road trip, and then come home for the Oklahoma City Thunder game on Saturday. We're going to sleep it out. You guys have been talking about January 25th too much, Monty. I've been telling you about February the 6th.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. The night before the Super Bowl.
The team they haven't seen yet.
First game's over. Now we got to worry about Durant and Westbrook. But first we got to deal with John Wall. Yes, they took over the tabloids in New York, front page, back page, all the pages. And then Steph had a modest game tonight, but Clay and Dre